This section of the Salary Scale Toolkit is intended for all those working to support early educators in North Carolina. As a technical assistance specialist, higher education faculty member, or a professional development provider, you will find content and resources to help you support the financial well-being of the early childhood workforce, which is the foundation of childhood education. Many organizations exist to support elements of quality in early childhood programs, mostly at the classroom level. These organizations all share the goal of supporting young children through investing in early educators' teaching practices. But our efforts can fall short when we have a gap in resources to support the financial well-being of the educators responsible for the care and education of the children. You are all experts of your areas, and your unique focus is one that, when paired with others, creates a larger support system for the early childhood workforce. You build trusting relationships with programs, students, and participants. Each of you meets a different need, and without the resources you provide through your work, early educators would be at a loss. So now, you might be thinking, if they realize most support roles don't specialize in business or compensation practices directly, why am I getting a portion of this toolkit made specifically for me? You play a critical role in creating a culture of compensation for early educators, because you are a trusted resource for programs and providers. We believe that technical assistance, professional development, and early childhood coursework all influence the culture of compensation in the workforce. Early educators see you as a trusted source of information, and each of you are responsible for providing resources when they are recognized as a need. Poor compensation comes at a price for early childhood educators' well-being and the families and the children entrusted to their care. You likely feel the impact of early educators' wages in your role too. We know that you are invested in your work. When we consider that just before the pandemic in 2020, North Carolina reported 1 in 5 early educators left their workplace in a 12-month period, and it only got worse with the pandemic-related turnover. It can be hard to feel that your efforts have a long-term impact. The stress of financial uncertainty undermines early educators' ability to engage in the intentional interactions that young children need. High expectations, partnered with low wages, leave fewer early educators entering the field and continue to fuel turnover. It's hard to support early educators who can't afford to stay in their jobs, so we know that you are impacted by this too. While compensation must be improved, it is also a topic that we rarely get to examine deeply to better understand what pay practices are to the reality of everyday program operations. Policies suggest better compensation for the workforce or point to low wages as a primary reason for turnover. But what we aren't talking about is how early childhood programs determine teachers' wages, if those wages are advertised, or what steps programs can take when they have no salary scale in place. So, how does a salary scale make a difference? Salary scales can create equitable wages for similar work for those with similar education. When teachers with an associate's degree know what they will earn in similar roles across various programs, teachers no longer need to leave their jobs for a slight increase in pay. When programs are hiring, being transparent with their salary scale ensures that those who apply are a good financial fit within the listed range of pay, and that the program isn't being forced into a decision that jeopardizes their budget when they are in desperate need for teachers. When family child care owners have strong budgeting practices, file taxes appropriately, and manage money proactively, they are able to plan for wage increases over time and plan for their retirement. When programs extend a job offer to a candidate, they don't have to negotiate, maxing out what they could potentially pay just to get them in the door. The practice is not uncommon, but being willing to pay what you can creates a skewed program of wages for all teachers in the program. New hires may be offered more in this case than teachers with longevity. When salary scales are based on education or other criteria, other factors cannot skew wages across roles. An infant-toddler teacher and a preschool teacher with the same experience and education would earn the same wage. When early educators trust you, they will talk to you, but that doesn't mean you will always feel confident about the topic or even have somewhere to go for resources. While you may not be able to provide technical assistance developing and/or revising a program's budget, you should be able to refer to specific tools within the toolkit that would help a provider in the budget development revision process. The Salary Scale Toolkit helps fill in the gap for missing technical assistance topics around business practices, financial planning, and pay practices. We are not implying that exploring the content and resources in the toolkit will make you an expert on business topics or creating a salary scale. But we are suggesting that we all play a role in supporting programs to be more sustainable. Knowing and understanding what's in the toolkit complements your own knowledge and skills. Explore the materials to increase your own understanding of pay practices or look for a specific resource you feel will be helpful in your work. Faculty in early education programs will find resources and concepts that will enhance many of your courses. While we might immediately think of administration courses as being the most connected to our topics, we've also included a lot of other background information that helps us all better understand the history of early education in the United States, so that we can envision a new and different future for early educators in North Carolina. Technical assistance and professional development providers can draw from the materials in the toolkit to enhance their coaching, mentoring, or training in relevant ways. Lastly, we want to encourage you to use the information in the toolkit as a step towards taking an active role in promoting the use of salary scales in early childhood education and advocating for public investments that will be required for programs and family child care owners to achieve their financial goals. When all those working to support early educators in North Carolina to understand child care staffing issues, complexity, resources, and funding, together we can do more to connect education with equitable wages.